Hello there. I hope you're doing well today. And today we're going to be looking at a short example and a couple of different ideas related to the inversions of the dominant seventh chord, which can be found in the Celebrate Harmony, Celebrate Theory Harmony Level 9, starting at Unit 8 on page 93 in the textbook. Now I'm going to be sharing my screen for a brief moment to outline a couple of ideas related to the dominant seventh chord and some tips on the resolution of each of the specific notes. And then also, when speaking about the inversions, I'll talk a little bit in general about some good technical skill to remember when handling this particular chord. Now, of course, the dominant seventh chord of any key contains a root, a third, a fifth, and a seventh. And in the key of C major, that would include G as the root, or the fifth note of the scale, B, which is the third, D, which is the fifth, and F, which is the seventh. Now, when resolving a dominant seventh chord, traditionally to the tonic, either in a major key or a minor key, this would be also known as an authentic cadence, there are special ways the notes of the dominant seventh chord move, or in other words, resolve. The third, in this case, which it would be B, rises up a step. Now, as we know as well, the third of the dominant seventh chord is also the leading tone of the key. So that's the reason why it's suggested for the third to rise up a step. Now, the seventh moves down a step, and the third and seventh of the dominant seventh chord create a tritone, which would be from B to F. But then when these notes are resolved, it creates a consonance. Dissonant, consonant. Now, when we are looking at the inversions of the dominant seventh chord, of course we have a few different options. The V7, as noted here, with let's say yellow, or let's do pink highlighter. The V7 is where the root is on the bottom. The V6-5, with the Roman numerals and the functional chord symbol such as this, is where the third is on the bottom, which means that that chord is first inversion. V4-3 would be where the second inversion is involved, and the fifth is on the bottom. And V4-2 would be where the third inversion occurs, and the seventh is on the bottom. Now, if I were to refer back to this handy-dandy chart here, and we know that the third rises up traditionally as a best-case scenario in a dominant seventh chord resolution, then when we use V6-5, that means that the third is on the bottom, or that's the lowest note of that particular inversion. And so then, with that being the third being on the bottom, it's suggested for V6-5 to go to 1, which means then that the third of the dominant seventh chord will rise up to the tonic. As well, with V4-2, where the seventh is on the bottom, or the lowest note, this will always resolve to 1/6, 99.9% of the time. And that is because the seventh of the chord, which helps to create the third inversion of the dominant seventh chord, this resolves to 1/6, so that the seventh of the dominant seventh chord can resolve down to the third of the tonic chord, hence 1/6, or a first inversion tonic chord. Now, traditionally, V4-2 to 1/6 in major or minor keys can be used in the middle of like at the end of a phrase, in the middle of a piece, or sometimes it can be a decorative moment in the middle of a phrase in certain cases. But it's not used very often to complete a musical piece, like to complete the end of a piece. But at the same time, the function really creates an interesting color because we have the seventh creating a slightly dissonant sound going to consonant. And this occurs in the bass or the lower part of a SATB writing. So hopefully this outline here and the description within is helpful as we dig deeper into the inversions of the dominant seventh chord. This is part 1 of a series of videos on this topic. I hope you have a great day and see you next time for the next video. Thank you and take care.